It did not go well for the Niners yesterday, and they still won. That's what I loved.
Go ahead.
I think season gets a lot harder for the Niners. They needed to win that game. The Packers are coming up next Sunday night.
Talk about it.
Yeah, Kyle, you made a joke a couple of months ago. You said you like it when handsome Jimmy can win ugly.
That's what I'm saying.
Sometimes the good teams have to win ugly games.
He won ugly. A lot of teams won and lost ugly yesterday. More
Yeah, they
highlights
did.
ahead. We've got everything you need to know from last night, of course. And we'll get you set for tonight's action. Chiefs and Chargers. Edelman had the lone touchdown pass for the Patriots.
How about that?
What world are we living in?
Yeah, that was some week we just watched, guys.
And the Bears couldn't get anything
Speaking of
done
which,
on offense. Trubisky comes out of the game. What are they talking about here?
This reminds me of Jimbo Fisher and James Winston.
If you love football, you're going to love this. Welcome to GMFB. We are presented by Intuit QuickBooks. All we do today is highlights, takeaways, discussion. Let's go. It is November 18th. My name's Kate, Nate, Peter, Kyle, and highlights. Let's do it.
Let's do it, Kay. Should we go to Los Angeles? Let's do it for the Bears and the Rams. It's a Sunday night game. It's a lot of eyes on it. Mitchell Trubisky is the quarterback for the Bears, an organization freak. He actually folds his dirty laundry. That's true. You can look it up. The Bears missed 2 field goals early and down 3-0 off the hands of Anthony Moore. There's some dirty laundry. It's intercepted by Troy Hill. No, Mitch has only thrown 4 picks this season. That sounds pretty good. Jared Goff, could you get it going? He didn't really need to. Todd Gurley had a big night. A lot of carries for him. 25, in fact, 97 rushing yards. Touchdown, Gurley. Coliseum likes it. 10-0, Trubisky. Athleticism. Move the pocket. Go. Wait. Does he make a big play here? Nah, he gets sacked. Goes down, kind of felt a little awkward all night. Had one really cool touchdown to Tariq Hill, which we are not going to, Tariq Cohen rather, that we are not going to show you. But he goes down awkwardly and then just didn't really look like he had it. Let's go to the fourth quarter. Very tight game, 10-7. Why are we showing this? Because that doesn't look like Mitch. That doesn't look like your starter. And he comes out and he has a long chat with Matt Nagy, which we'll see momentarily, because first, we want to show you the Malcolm Brown touchdown. Hold that, Peter. Malcolm Brown from Texas. Hook 'em horns. And there it is. Whoa. Talking closely. Chase Daniels like, am I going in, guys? Could you let me in? Yes, you are, Chase. You went in. A lot of hubbub afterwards that maybe Mitch was pulled for performance, something that has been talked about a lot this year. The Bears maintain that it was a hip injury. Rap sheet has been all over it. Mitch said his hip kept tightening up. Nagy said he didn't have it, so we had to get him out of there, and we put Chase in. It was not a performance thing. But it doesn't really matter, is it really? It's 17-7. We're talking about the Bears a lot, but the Rams win. Really had to have it. Felt like a loser leaves town type game. They get to 6-4. And speaking of the Rams, our own Omar Ruiz, who was otherwise hanging out with tennis legends on his free time, goes to Jared Goff and talks about the win.
We got dudes who fight. Both sides of the ball.
Serena.
We got dudes who fight.
Venus.
And it showed up tonight.
Venus, thank God I didn't say it.
With the offensive line, so many different new faces in there, but they came together pretty quickly and allowed you guys with protection and getting yards for Todd. What can you say about them this week?
I can't say enough. They stepped up so big, and we knew the type of game it was going to be with, a field position game like that, and just being able to run the ball like we could and protect me in the pass game. I can't say enough about what those guys did, especially those young guys stepping in there and their first action. Some of them, it's incredible, and we got dudes who fight.
They get the win. The Bears sit at 4-6. Time running out. Hope running out for that squad. And now we don't know what's up with the quarterback. And here we have Ian Rappaport. Bears quarterback Mitchell Trubisky, of course, finishes the game on the sideline. What do you know?
Yeah, this was described pretty quickly on Twitter, though not really on the broadcast, as a hip injury for Mitchell Trubisky, which certainly does explain a couple things. Say what you want about his performance, and obviously a lot has been said about his performance over the last couple months, but he is one of the more athletic quarterbacks out there and did not look like himself last night. And if you want to figure out why, go back to that play. You showed it late in the second quarter. It looked like he got kneed by Michael Brockers, and it sounded like, listening to Matt Nagy, listening to Mitch Trubisky, that Trubisky essentially didn't admit that he was injured until late in the game, and that, according to these guys, is why that emotional conversation took place in the sideline. They went to great pains to say that Trubisky was not pulled for performance. He wasn't replaced late in the fourth quarter of a primetime game with no hope of winning. That actually wouldn't make sense anyway. They have said this is for injury reasons, and we're going to get more information as we go throughout the week about Trubisky's hip injury and whether or not he's going to get to be himself as a starting quarterback and as a healthy starting quarterback this week and moving forward.
Moving forward, they've got the Giants in Week 12. Thank you for the update there, Ian. More on Chicago's side of things, but let's talk about these Rams. They were victorious, but not impressive, and they haven't really been all year. Congrats to Todd Gurley for having a good game, but look at the schedule ahead of them. They leaned on defense. I mean, did they find a recipe for success, or was it more about the Bears this one? Can they grind out ugly wins against the Ravens, the Seahawks, the Cowboys, the Niners? That's what it's going to take for them to get in.
Yeah, and you look at the playoff picture in the NFC, it's like you've got your 6 teams. You look at the 4 division leaders, whether it be Dallas or Philadelphia. But, I mean, all season long, it's been Niners, Packers, Saints, Seahawks, Vikings, and that last one in the hunt. The Rams are the first team there, but they don't feel like they're in the same conversation right now as those other 6. Like, are we done with the NFC playoff picture here as we enter Week 12? It almost feels that way unless the Rams turn it around. The truth is this, Kay. I picked the Rams to win the Super Bowl this year. I came in with fire and brimstone saying they're going back. They're going to do it. I watched last night. I think the defense played well. I think it was nice to see Todd Gurley make a cameo in the NFL season. But that's not a team that's winning the Super Bowl, and they have so much still to learn and to gain from. And there were more injuries, and there were more problems. And I don't come away from that game feeling overly optimistic about the Rams, even in a win. And they've got a Monday night game against the Ravens the following week. Monday night against the Ravens, and they're coming into their building. So, like, the Ravens are coming to L.A. If you beat the Ravens, now we can do this. Like, let's start talking about this. But I'm sorry, as much as I love the Rams, to beat Trubisky in that version of the Bears, I can't do flips this morning.
Game and a half back of the Vikings for the final wild card spot as things stand today. 3 games back of the Niners in the NFC West. What's your temperature on the Rams?
I saw glimpses of who they were or who I thought they would be. You know, it's like seeing somebody from your past from a distance. And you're like, wait a minute, is that? Is it the Rams? Yeah. I thought that was you. I saw you walking over there, the same outfit here. I mean, you got a little taller, a little stronger. I can tell they made effort. They made effort to give Todd Gurley the ball. And, you know, we can talk about Todd Gurley making an appearance in this NFL season. Maybe this is why they were holding him back. Maybe this is why they were splitting carries. Maybe this is why they were resting him in the preseason. Maybe this is the point in the season where they say, you know what, let's feed our superstar that paid top-tier money for it. We'll look forward to what they're going to do with the game plan the rest of this year, November, December. But right now, I've seen glimpses, and they can build off of this. But like Shrake said, they're going to have to win games and maybe get a little bit of help with some of those teams in the wild card spot.
They ran the ball in almost two-thirds of their snaps.
It was a cool thing they did. Like, they said, let's go old school with Gurley and just run him north and south. And I imagine if you're with the Rams this morning, you're like, listen, we didn't have Cooks. We lost Robert Woods hours before the game. I'm sorry we won a game on national television. You guys are killing me.
Right.
But I look at it more like, to make a local reference, it's like they're in there auditioning for some part with their sides in their hand, and they do an okay audition, but then you walk out, and it's like me when I auditioned for Las Vegas. I left, and Josh Duhamel was there. Josh Duhamel, in this case, is the Niners and the Seahawks. Like, they just look really good. No, I'm not anti-Ram. I'm just pro-Niner and Seahawk. They look so great. It's going to be a tough ride, and I did not get that part of the list, as we know.
All right.
Nobody's going to Duhamel.
All
Come on now.
We're the beneficiaries.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, right.
Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a failed actor because you're on the show.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Texans, Ravens, more highlights. I love you, Kyle.
I love you, too. You're pretty good at football.
I was all right.
I think that's fair.
Hey,
That's pretty good.
If he was great, he wouldn't be with us right now.
This is true.
Right.
This is true.
You're
If I had
right.
a Super Bowl ring, I wouldn't be here.
Thank God for not being better. Both of us.
Hey, how about this? You got Deshaun Watson, 10 seconds in the pocket. He's trying to make something happen, and he doesn't. He actually gets hit. Matthew Judon forces the fumble. Ball pops out. Jalen Ferguson recovers. These two quarterbacks, this is supposed to be a matchup of mammoth proportions.
Yeah.
But only one guy was playing like a superstar, and that was Lamar Jackson. And he was hitting the superstars on his squad. This was a touchdown to Mark Andrews. That's an 18-yard TD. Mark Andrews, one of the best tight ends of the game, 5th touchdown of the season. 21-0 at this point. Lamar says, I'm going to keep it. Run-pass option. When Lamar has it, it's just a run option. He's going to keep going and dips his shoulder at the end of that.
That would be like the highlight of the year if it wasn't seeing it every week.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
unbelievable stuff we're seeing.
If it was any other quarterback and he runs past 7 guys, we would say it's one of the plays of the year. But because it's Lamar Jackson, we're like, Lamar, it's not that good because you didn't score.
No.
But Lamar, continue to show us why he's so dynamic. He's using his arm and he's using his legs. And right here, he's going to use his running back. A little bit of a play action, spins out left. He dips it to his running back, and then he dips underneath the defender. Watch Mark Ingram on this one. The linebacker just flies by. He goes underneath, trips a little bit, but still gets into the end zone. That's a TD. But he wasn't done. He hops in the end zone. He had 2 receiving TDs on the day. And then after the game, Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson, they swapped jerseys. And in the post-press game conference, Deshaun Watson was asked, why did you write MVP on the back of the jersey that you gave to Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, I just wrote, always love, keep going, keep grinding. Wrote MVP on it, and he's like a brother to me. I'm proud of him. That's what I told him, and keep going, stay healthy, and keep leading this team.
He's a great quarterback. I already called him the GOAT. He proved himself each and every week. Our defense did a great job today. No tape from Deshaun Watson because, like I said, he's a great quarterback. He's going to prove it each and every week.
Lamar Jackson is special. Both quarterbacks are, but he got the best of him yesterday. And, I mean, come on. Most rushing yards by a quarterback in his first 2 seasons in NFL history. He has surpassed Panthers quarterback Cam Newton. It is only Week 11. He is coming for that Michael Vick single-season record as well. We hype this game up as the game of the century heading into Sunday. Didn't get quite the performance from Deshaun Watson. We're going to talk a lot more about Lamar Jackson, but credit to this Ravens secondary for what they were able to do. Jimmy Smith back. They looked awesome, and the whole defense did.
Yeah, and Earl Thomas had a great quote after the game because as much as we want to talk about the 41 points, the Deshaun Watson Texans were supposed to come in here and throw and have 7 points. And here's what Earl Thomas had to say about his defensive coordinator, Wink Martindale, after the game.
Just understanding our job responsibility. We have so many moving pieces coming in and out the game, new guys coming in, making plays. Wink, he's broke the code on how to put guys in positions to have success.
Broke the code. And this is what they did last night. They broke the code on Deshaun Watson. He can't beat you in the final seconds if you're up 30 points. And that's what they did. They pummeled him. The entire game, it was Deshaun Watson on the run, throwing the ball away. So today's going to be about Lamar as it is every Monday. But for a second, we definitely have to give credit to the defense, who absolutely bottled up one of the most dynamic players in the sport.
When the Ravens started slow, they had their opportunities to strike.
Yeah, and they bottled them up by really mixing it up. They did a little bit of everything. They dropped back in zone. They dropped back in man. They put twist up front. They brought pressure by the linebackers. And that's what you got to do when you have a guy like Deshaun Watson who can do it all. I mean, he has a great arm. We know he can negotiate the pocket with his feet. He can even break out and give us a long run like Lamar Jackson. So credit to that front four, the linebackers, the DBs. They did it all. It's funny. I was listening to Lamar Jackson after the game. He said, Deshaun Watson, I call him the GOAT. And then when he saw Tom Brady, he called him the GOAT. He's one of those young guys nowadays that put the GOAT emoji in every text.
A lot of that.
And it's ironic because he's probably going to be the GOAT at some point. And that's the way he's playing. If he continues to trend in the right direction. And like I said, his intelligence and football IQ catches up to how athletic he is. Yeah, he'll be the most dominant quarterback this game has ever seen.
Can I yell at a cloud for a second?
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson, terrible day for him. It's the worst loss he's ever had at a pro. In fact, there's something that the Ringer had that it was his first loss this big since he lost to Buford High School as a senior in college. And then afterwards, I'm sorry, I cringe at the jersey swap, particularly in this situation. I know it's a little polarizing in any situation, but the fact that Deshaun Watson just got his doors blown off. A terrible, terrible loss in which his defense was run all over. And then he writes you're the MVP on the thing. Like, what would be the value of getting that jersey for Deshaun Watson? Is he going to hang that in his TV room and remember the day he lost 41-7 in one of his worst days as a pro? It drives me crazy. Like, Odell giving Brady the shoes and all this is nonsense. But I think particularly this, the context of the day, like, Deshaun Watson's defense had a terrible day, and we're completely embarrassed. And then he's standing there, you're the MVP. He's the MVP because he just humiliated your defense. Like, I just think pick your spots with the jersey swap. I appreciate the respect and the sportsmanship, but enough with that. Like, time and place, and I think that was neither, and that's it, and I'm pissed off.
I love you. That's a terrible take.
Why?
Because I don't care if you get beat by 40 points. If you have an opportunity to build up your friend, your brother, a guy that you love, and
what do you mean?
It's
brothers
it's
are
marketing.
His defense, Nate.
It doesn't
Keep
matter.
That stuff for Instagram in the off season for your brand and all that. I respect it. Like, you just guys got your butts kicked. This is my guy. You're the MVP. Yeah, I mean, it's like, I hate it. I don't like it.
You take a slice of humble pie and you hype up the guy that's going to win the MVP.
The second the game is over, you got to do that?
Yeah, and you know what? He's going to have a jersey from a guy who could possibly win the MVP. I love that. I love everything about it.
Okay.
I see both sides of it. Let's say hot take.
Which side is clear?
I think Kyle's is a lot more difficult to defend, and I respect him for making it.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure Twitter will too. It's fine. I don't care.
I don't like him even in a close game.
Yeah.
I just
Jump on in, Kay. I like
see
it.
Batman and the Joker hanging out and saying, good game, good fight. I want to see
Hello?
that. All right,
Joker, you the MVP.
37-35. Is it better?
Yeah, because they battled.
I'm not a fan
Sean
of
had a
it
terrible day.
Carson Wentz goes on a last-minute drive.